What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jonathan here from Calling in Favors. New episode. We're going to talk some tournament swag tonight. We're going to talk the Open Championship tonight. A couple other things, some fun stuff this time. A lot of you follow me on my private page, so you heard the rant already today. Rant's over. Vomit, got it out of my system, and I'm good to go. Now, anybody that questions what I did in that rant or said in that rant, I'm happy to have you on the show. We can discuss it. If you agree, disagree, whatever you'd like to comment on it. I really don't care anymore. I bit my tongue for too long. Now I had it out. A couple quick things real quick. Couple shout outs, couple people I've met out and about. I was paired with a guy named Tony yesterday at Acushnet, 25 years old, kind of into the podcasting thing, shoots around 90, 20 handicap, but we had a good time. It was cool to be out there. He helped with recording, so I appreciate it, Tony. It was fun. Golf course was awesome, and I'll talk about that again, but man, it was in such good shape. He said the same thing. He's kind of one of those roamers that travels around, and he said, this is good right now. Yeah, it was in good shape. Another guy I met, guy named Brandon, him and his buddy were talking specs while I was walking by at the Caddy Shack the other night. So I stopped and kind of chimed in. I was like, you guys getting ready to go get fit? And asked them a couple questions. I went down and I remembered I had some business cards or something. I think I gave him something. And I went down there. I told him about the podcast and why I stopped. But it was cool. I came home and I saw that he had followed me. So I appreciate it, Brandon. Appreciate the follow. Yeah, it's tournament season, right? It's crazy. I'm going down this thing. I was trying to record it Monday night with three of my buddies. I'm done asking people. That's the frustrating part about this, and it's the tough part for me to reach out and ask people to come on. So, figured screw it. I'll just rant about tournaments myself. I got a lot to say, and I think a lot of people want to hear it. So, put up a post on social media about club championships, and we'll start here, right? This one's the one that everybody has an opinion on, and it could go either way. I get it. Every club has their tradition, and I'm okay with their traditions. I wouldn't badmouth anything. My opinion is my personal opinion, right? The club championship is the one that you're trying to find the best player at the club. It doesn't matter if he wins it 12 times in a row. If he's the best player at the club, he should win. It doesn't matter if he's 12, if he's 85, if it's male or female, right? It's your club champion. It's the best player at the club. Politics, personal feelings, everything go out the window. It's golf. It's the one term of the year where nothing else matters other than golf. My opinion on that means stroke play. Put the ball in the hole, find the best player at the club. In the comment that I made, more than 2 rounds, 2 rounds is okay, but 2 rounds is tough. Good player has one bad 9 holes and he's out of it. So, I like having a couple extra rounds to come back and get into it. But again, that's my perfect scenario. That doesn't mean I'm right. It doesn't mean that's the way it should be. I see a lot of clubs doing the match play, and I get that too. They want to have everybody in the field to have an opportunity to win, and the majority of us play 18-hole match play on a regular basis, so I get it. But I put the post up. I let you guys decide. I wanted to know what you guys thought, and it was pretty close. 49% said they prefer match play. Excuse me. 41 stroke. It was interesting to see. It seemed like the better players on my list, the guys that I've been shouting out playing the state AMs and stuff like that, they're the ones all saying stroke, 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 because obviously they have a huge advantage and they do it a lot more often. So that kind of makes sense. Not surprising when you see young kids winning stroke play club championships, because that's what they play in junior tournaments, and you start to get to amateur events and it turns into match play. And there were some junior events that were match play as kids, but a lot of them were stroke. So that's just kind of what they're used to playing. And hey, if he's the best player in the club, so be it. He's the best player in the club. The one that was interesting to me, obviously I've got my amateur status back, but back 2 years ago when I was a golf professional, you like to play in events, but you're a member of the club and you kind of tiptoe that line, and they say you can play in some stuff but not others. And I didn't want to push the issue because I got it. So I never said it, but 65% versus 35% are for golf professionals playing in the club championship. I like it too. I agree. If they're a member at a club and they're a full paying member at the club and they want to play in the club championship, why not? I mean, what does folding shirts and selling socks have to do, give them an advantage to win a club championship? So I agree with the 65 percenters. I was a little surprised that some of the 35 percenters were some of the better players that I would have thought would have been on the side of the golf professional. But I think it's pretty cool. You see the score sheets from medalists and stuff like that with Ricky Fowler playing with. He used to play with a junior member. I'm sure he's probably still playing with him, but I'm guessing probably now that kid's not a junior anymore. But I think it's pretty cool. You see all these clubs that have members down there and member guests, and the names are off the charts, and it's fun to watch. So as long as they have a handicap and they're ready to go, I see no reason to not let them play in any club events. I guess maybe a Calcutta I could see, major like that. That makes sense. But um, some cool stuff going on at the Open. Um, uh, Actually, you know what? I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let's go back a little bit. Congrats to all the guys that I've been shouting out that are playing all the state opens and state ams and playing well. It's fun to see all the guys that I've fit out there still competing. Couple of buddies that I've been talking to behind the scenes. Yesterday, you saw me playing golf at Acushnet River. I hit that flop shot where I'm trying to teach. It goes in. I have my moment. These diamonds today, I had to go ahead and one up me, make a one in the New England Amateur, but that's not why he one up me. The one up me is it's just 13th one. Um, I mean, he's a great player, and I'm not taking anything away from him, but you got to have some luck to have 13 of them go in. That's crazy. Congrats, but it's just nuts. But no, I saw Tom Harrison was playing pretty well there. I guess he kind of had a couple bad days late. I saw John Broderick, who I was shouting out in the Mass Am, finished second. Good playing from him. Um, yeah, it's a lot going on. It's funny you start writing up this outline. Sorry, blacking out over here. You start writing up this outline and you think about what you want to talk about, and then 3 days go by and the whole show has changed and it's crazy. But we're gonna get back to it. We're gonna get back to the Open because it kind of leads into the swag conversation, right? It's talking about tee gifts. Tee gifts are difficult for golf pros. Trying to be creative is hard for a lot of them. And then B, it's like nobody's ever happy, right? You're always trying to be ahead of what people want or what they have. So somebody's always going to be like, I don't want this crap. You know what I mean? I gave a Theragun out one year and we had a guy complaining. So if that ain't my ice cream's too cold, I don't know what is. But again, golf professionals, be creative, right? I mean, how many Nike accounts right now have Jordan Brand, right? Who would love to sit there, hire an artist from outside? Everybody gets a pair of custom painted Air Force Ones in the club colors not Air Force Ones, Jordan Ones, club colors with the logo painted on, right? That's sick, right? Tee gifts should be something that you don't want to buy, something that you don't need but want, right? A scorecard holder, a pimped out scorecard holder, a dope head cover, um, Dormy Workshop with the van with dope head covers and custom ball markers and custom head covers. And, that's tournament swag. Brian at Cohasset, for trophies, he did shoot football helmets with the Cohasset logo and then the flight winner words across the visor. I mean, if that's not a win, I don't know what is, right? That's why we have people in the golf business doing things. At my club that I grew up at, they used to have a great stroke play event at the end of the season. Um, and I bring them up because they actually had a great tee gift. I want to talk about not tradition. I don't know what the word is to use about this one, but that great event got ruined because of handicaps. I mean, it got to the point where 45 under was winning. Now you got a superintendent who thinks it's funny to put the pins in spots where you can't get to, so the scratch players have zero chance. So they stop playing. The auction's laughable. Tee times were half a field, if that. Who knows if they'll even have it this year? It was that bad. But the tee gift that they gave me was pretty cool. The only thing I don't like about it, and I say this to all golf pros, this isn't picking on that club. When you run an event, especially if it's your premier event, don't abbreviate anything. It's not Resi Days, it's reservation days. It's your premier event. Have some tradition, have some pride in what it is. When you cheap it down, how do you spell it? You spell it Ressy? Do you spell it Ressie? Nobody even knows how to spell the abbreviation. So when you put it on a tee gift, it kind of cheapens it. The other one that I tell people all the time when golf pros are talking to me about it, don't date it. Nobody wants to carry around a shoe bag or a duffel bag from 2012 with a giant date on it, right? So if it's a 10th annual or 20th annual or whatever, that's fine. You walk around the gym, nobody knows what year the club, it doesn't matter. But when you walk around with a 2012 duffel bag in 2023, it just makes you look like a cheap prick. So don't date them, right? Tee gifts shouldn't be dated. It's 26th annual if you want to do that. If not, just leave it alone. Just kind of put the name of the tournament and let it be. But the reason why I bring it up when I start talking about the Open Championship is because of the staff bags and all the swag that they've been doing for the majors. Again, it goes back to that kind of Resi Days abbreviation conversation. I hated the TaylorMade bag for the U.S. Open. They did the bright colors and they concentrated more on L.A. rather than the U.S. Open. Same thing here. I hate the Callaway bag because they concentrated more on the Beatles than the Open Championship. The TaylorMade bag, I think, is sick with the imitation scoreboard, the yellow. Some of the other ones were pretty good. Cobra and Strixon weren't bad. They were kind of plain Jane white with the British colors like they always do. But, you start to see these head covers. Titleist kind of did it a few years, just head covers. They had the red, white, and blue for the U.S. Open. I have a set of tan ones that were kind of ugly for the Open Championship. But I don't know why they don't get into the bag thing. I think it'd be pretty cool. I think if Scotty Cameron was smart, he'd start doing it for the players and have the players carry that bag for the week, because he already does it for the custom shop. That's the swag stuff that didn't happen until my generation kind of became the buyers and the designers and the players, right? These guys are all kind of in their 30s, maybe a little younger than me, but kind of close, but you see it. It's been a few years now where the swag thing's starting to come in play, right? So, you got Jordan Brand, you got DJ Khaled. So when you're doing tournament tee gifts, think about that stuff. How, all these companies, they do yardage book holders, belts, custom shoes, think outside the box. Don't just give another wedge, no, it's great to get a Vokey wedge, but how many size disasters do you have with wedges, right? I mean, how many size disasters do you have with clothes? So, shoe companies are usually pretty good about figuring it out. And every time I've had a shoe event, I've probably only had one or two that we needed to work out. So, again, it would have been cool to have my buddies on here to talk about their swag and what they like and what tee gifts they've gotten that they've liked in the past. But again, it's not my personality to ask more than once. I asked them Monday, they weren't around. I've been kind of kicking the can a few days, and now getting around to record. Love Cam Smith showing up talking about we'll be drinking out of the cup again. That's the stuff that I want to talk about with the British Open. I love his swag. He just don't care. He's got the mullet. He's just letting it rip. It's awesome. It is what it is with him. He shot one over today, but he's never out of it. He gets that putter going and watch out. It's funny, a couple people that I was going to pick to bet, I'm glad I didn't record last night. I would have given you guys some bad advice. I thought Bryson DeChambeau at plus 6,000 was a steal to at least put some money on it, but I guess the bookies knew what they were talking about. He shot a bundle. Ricky, I was going to give you guys Ricky. He was cruising along and then hit two balls out of bounds on 18. Uh, I hate interior out of bounds, but these guys are the best players in the world. You hit one there, you can't do it a second time. It's crazy. It was funny. The leaderboard for a little while had Jordan Spieth, Matthew Jordan, and Jordan Spieth both shot 2 under, and they both shot 69. So it kind of looked like they made a mistake, but it wasn't. It was um, it was they actually both shot it. What else do we need to talk about? Oh, we were talking about tournaments. I wanted to talk now. Yeah, so tournaments. We did the club championship. We did the tee gifts, and now it's on to the strategy, right? You heard me talking about how people used to fly in like all these big handicaps for big events, right? It's so hard to plan when you play 9-hole events. So the 3-day 9-hole events, it's not worth figuring out. Find a buddy that you're willing to spend 3 days and get shit faced with and have fun, right? Um, if you're playing a real tournament with 18-hole events, that's a different story. That's where you start doing some strategy. You want to have the right handicap combinations. The best way to do it, find a guy that makes 18 pars and then find like a 12 to 8 to 12 handicap that'll make 5 or 6 net birdies a day, and you're going to be off and running. You hear so much complaining about handicaps and stuff, but when you play in a 3-day event, it's not 18 holes. It's 2 9 holes. Listen, yes, guys are going to get hot and play a hot match, and then they stop, and then they play a hot match. It's so hard to call guys crooks and to handicap an event where you're playing not 2 or 3 9-hole matches, because it's the reset. The law of averages, eventually he's going to shoot a big number, but when you're playing 9-hole matches and you win 3 matches by 6 or 7 points, you're probably going to win the fight even if you have a bad day. So I don't really get up for the whole 3-day 9-hole match play thing. I mean, I'll play it, I'll have fun, but like I said, that's an event to find a partner that you're just willing to spend 3 days and let it rip and have some fun. I mean, yeah, they do the shootout for a quote unquote winner, but you really don't have a winner. The club's still doing match play. I love it. Obviously, my former club has a huge event. To my guys, little strategy here. Find yourself a 2 or a 3 that just makes pars. You get a team where a 2 or 3 makes a ton of pars, and then you get a guy that's an 8 to a 10, especially now at 10, where you're getting a shot on a par 3 late in the round. They're going to be tough to beat. So the guys that are betting in the auction, that's the team to go on. Or you find a team that's got a couple of 8 to 12s, both in that C category, that just seem to get hot and ding and dong for the week. They're another good bet. You can usually get them at a cheap price. But yeah, strategy wise, guys get so into, it's a new event, I got to gear up. No, you just go play golf. Where the shots fall, they fall. You're not good enough to know when you're going to play a good hole or hit a bad shot. So ignore the strokes, play golf, and I guarantee you're going to play better, and you're going to see you're going to play a lot more of your stroke holes well. That being said, if you got a good match going late down the stretch, there is some strategy, right? We got to keep the ball in play. The guy hitting first has always got the advantage. Late in the round at my former club, there's a few short holes where you can lay up to 100 yards and be the first one hitting and stuff it in there close and put the pressure on. Speaking of that, with the way the new stroke holes are, again, this is the USGA format. I'm not going to get into it. It's ridiculous. The fact that you got an 8 getting a shot on a par 3 late in the round, bet against any low handicaps that are going to be on that borderline, because they're going to play a lot of matches late in the round where they're going to be giving up a ton of shots and they got no chance. So it's funny. Last year, a buddy of mine called me and said, this was when I was still a member there, and said, hey, do you mind playing the practice round with me and my guy? I'd love to see what you could help him with opinion wise. And we played, I played great that day. I think I shot like 70 or 71 and was kind of cruising. And finally we get to the 14th hole and he's got an iron in his hand. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, I just hate this hole. I want to hit it and play. I'm like, who cares, dude? I'm like, as long as you hit it, take out the driver and hit it on the correct side. It doesn't matter if you're in the rough or the fairway. The greens there are so soft, it doesn't take spin to stop the ball. And I told him, I said, just as long as you're in play on the correct side. And I kind of walked him through the golf course and told him where to miss it. And, again, I didn't watch him play, but we were talking, laughing with his partner after the event, and his partner was like, he knew exactly what you were talking about. He understood it. He went out and they lost on Sunday. So there's strategy there, but the guys that remember to play golf, they're the guys that win. So that's what you see with the match play, stroke play. The better players, when I'm asking, are the ones saying they want stroke play all the time. They don't. They want no way for a high handicap to chase them down on a day where they shoot even or something like that, and the guy careers it, right? Me personally, if I'm playing against the tour player and I career it and beat him, that's a feather in the cap. And yes, he's going to beat me probably 99 times out of 100. But if I go and catch hot and shoot 68 or 69 and he shoots even, I'd rather have my chance to say I won, right? Um, the other thing is you're going to have good days and bad days, and you're going to get bad sides of the draw and good sides of the draw. And if you get into what's going on around you more than the golf, you stop playing golf, right? It's weather, it's tournament golf. There's so much that goes into it that the better players get it and they understand, and that's why they like stroke play. But I get it. Match play, it is what it is. To the clubs that do it alternating years, I think they're the guys that win. They get it the best. They let every member have an opportunity. The good player has his year where he's the favorite. The rest of the field has their year where they have a chance. So I kind of like that idea. But it's one of those things too. I'm looking at my notes now, and there's no replacement for stroke play golf. You see how many guys, 2 3 handicaps every year. You get to the club championship and they shoot 85, right? It's because they haven't done it, and it's one of those things. The more that they do it, the better they'll get at it. Go play the qualifiers that you are qualified in the handicap by. Play the mid-am, play the amateur qualifiers. Who cares if you shoot 84, 85? As long as you do it the right way, keep up the pace and don't ruin the round for the rest of the guys around you. There's no excuse. I mean, no substitution for tournament rounds. You just got to play. So shout out, and on that note, big shout out to Adam Tempesta, right? Shot 80 something the first day, Rhode Island Amateur, and then he went back out and shot 72 the second day, and he was a couple under for a while, whereas a couple guys make a few bogeys, and now he's right back into the hunt for match play, right? But he didn't quit. He kept grinding, and now he's got another round under his belt at even par. Where next year, next event, next round, he's going to be like, you know what? I do have this in me. So, listen, we know as golfers how crazy we are. It's not like we deny it, right? Mental planning and mental strength and mental stability is huge in the golf game, right? You got to have those days where you grind. The weather delays suck. I'll never forget my first round as a professional. Um, we had the guy from On the Brink. I don't remember his name, but he played cross-handed. It was that TV show on NBC that followed guys through Q school. Well, he was in the group in front of me. I'm watching him play cross-handed, and Bubba Watson was in the group behind me, hitting it fucking 360. So, you're going to have things that rattle you and intimidate you and get you in your own head. And you just have to take a step back, take a deep breath, and play golf again. A couple times this summer, I let my mental health get in my way, right? Semifinals of the club championship, I 4-putted 15th green. I mean, have you ever seen, most of the time, I don't 3-putt. It's a rarity that I 3-putt. So to 4-putt is just not, it's just out of character. And it just was me not mentally being on the golf course for a few holes, missed a couple putts, and then you just get in your own head. So it is what it is. you know how to get yourself into and out of these things, and if you don't play good golf when it comes to events, right? So, guys, it's crazy. It's you see all the pictures online and all the celebrations and you know it, it's the highlight of guys' summers and girls' summers. I shouldn't say guys. Highlight of golfers' summers. Tournament season, right? 3 days, club championship. That is your U.S. Open for a lot of people. A lot of those guys that aren't good enough to play in the club, the state championships. The handicaps aren't low enough to play the qualifiers, but they're just good enough, and every once in a while get hot enough at their home club to compete in the club championship, right? So it's cool. It's why golf is fun, but again, it's why clubs need to remember who they are and what they do, right? It's the cool part of watching Scottish golf and the Open Championship is how firm and fast the place is, but the greens only roll 10.5, right? They don't need to be lightning fast. They just need to be smooth, but be firm enough to be a challenge. You got to find a way to get firm greens for tournament conditions. It is what it is. I know I went on a rant about my former club. There's so many more issues than I'm ranting about, but I've been muted for 3 years. You guys thought it was a bad thing that we were dating. You guys have no idea. She had me on a leash, and I let her because I needed one. I needed to get my shit under control. It wasn't worth going off the rails over something that's never going to change because you guys are too scared to play politics. So I left. It is what it is. Now I'm playing public golf and I'm loving life. I can't believe how much better the conditions are. So, yeah, it is what it is. I can't wait to get out with some of you guys that have invited me. I have invites to, let's see, the Country Club, Black Rock times 2, Farm Neck times 3, Old Sandwich, Plymouth, Wampatuck. Where else? Vesper, Thorny Lee. I don't know. We got to figure this out. I got to find my schedule. I got to get on some serious steroids and get these legs back up to going because it's tough to play at all these places if I can't play 2 days in a row. So, but no, we're ready to go. This was awesome yesterday, playing golf, playing 18 holes, finally pain free. Somebody reached out and was like, "Why are you pain free?" And I'm like, "Well, because I have my shot, and I finally have a doctor that understands that it's not healthy to crash off prednisone. So he's had me steady on prednisone, 20 milligrams a day, and that's just fun juice. That is literally euphoric. I could run into a wall right now. It's fun stuff when I'm feeling like this. I get a little crazy. I start talking some shit, but the people that know me and know the sarcasm and know I could care less at the end of the day. I just like popping off because it's fun. They laugh along with me. Those that don't, they don't follow. So it is what it is. I'm having fun. That's all that matters. All right, boys and girls, until next time. Hopefully by then I'll be off TikTok jail and we'll be back getting some numbies. Let's go.